I grew up in Wheatfield, Indiana, with my grandparents, and then I moved to Valpo when I turned 18, because my grandparents, they didn't want us to live with them forever. So when we was 18, we had to move out on our own. My grandparents raised 12 grandkids, and we lived in one room. Well, there was 3 rooms. There was a kitchen, a bathroom, and a bedroom for the girls. So there were 12 girls. And my grandparents raised all of us. Because my parents wasn't best parents, they was alcoholics and druggies. So we was almost almost ready to go to the state. And my grandparents stepped in and took us, and slowly my other cousins, kind of like when they was grandma. So, well, with 1 bedroom, room or shack or a trailer, it was like take a number like a deli, and you go to the restroom, you have to take a number, and then we had to wash our clothes our washing machine, and then we had to go hang them up on the line to dry. And if we didn't do that, then we would go and throw the clothes the next day, because my grandma said, that's responsibilities. My ton was going backwards, and they couldn't figure out why I couldn't say certain words. So like my parents, they didn't kill. So my grandma took me to the doctor, and it was too late because my tongue was going backwards, and they had to go in and clip my tongue and sew it up, because it was like choking me when I was trying to say words, and that's why I have a speech impediment. Sometimes I like to would try to go to work, and I like to help people clean their houses and stuff. But nobody will hire me. They put me on Social Security because I couldn't get a job. And then I got pregnant with my daughter, Monica, and she has a lot of health issues. She has cerebral palsy and type 2 or G2. And so she's a lot of work. And I took care of her on my own. She'd be 20 in September. I did it for 20 years by myself, because her dad's not in the picture. And she had back surgery and health issues. So I had to get up in the morning, like 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning, get her fed and change, and her diaper change, and bathe and dress. Then I had to take care of my nieces. At the time, my sister was living with me. But we lived there for like 7 years, and then we went our own separate ways, because she wasn't very good. My sister went down the wrong path, and so I just stayed, away and took care of my daughter and my nieces. I was living off my Social Security check. My rent was $390, and my check was $575. And time I paid my rent and my NIPSCO, that's pretty much where my money went. And we didn't have a vehicle, so we walked a lot everywhere. And we made too much money for food stamps, so I couldn't get food stamps. So Jennifer, my sister, she won't apply for food stamps for her and her kids. And every once in a while she'd be nice and take them shopping, buy them groceries, and bring them back to the apartment. But we just lived at the food pantry. We would go to the food pantries, and sometimes we went to the trustees, get a trustee voucher for the grocery store. Sometimes it made me feel bad, because people would stare at you, and you just feel down. But people talk, reaching her at the food pantry with our 3 kids, don't you think she needs to do something, quit having kids? And I tell these people, these are my nieces and my daughter, not like they're all not mine, and you just feel, low, you just don't have no self-esteem when you go to the food pantries. But now, I think, well, you're here too, so I guess you're in the same boat that I am.